Is there a season for chocolate? Of course. There is chocolate spring, chocolate summer, chocolate autumn, and chocolate winter. And there's also a specific chocolate time of the day, and that is now. Hello and welcome to ROHTOPIA. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this clip is all about chocolate and how to make it yourself. And it's not about how to make it with cocoa powder, but instead on how to make it with cacao paste, also known as cacao liqueur. And it's nothing to drink, but it's like a solid block of the purest chocolate that you could ever get. It's 100% cocoa, and it's made from the cocoa beans that have been ground and then pressed into shape again. So cacao powder is the cocoa bean minus the cocoa butter, but cocoa paste is both together, the ultimate chocolate, so to speak. However, it's not sweet because it is 100% cacao, and therefore it's more rather bitter than sweet. So if you are only after the flavor of cacao or chocolate, then this is your thing. However, if you want it to be a little bit sweet, then this recipe is perfect for you because you choose how sweet you want it. The ingredients are the following. Okay, so this is the cacao paste or cacao liqueur, and here is cacao butter. And the cacao butter is made when you cold press cacao beans, and then you will get the cacao butter and cacao powder. Whereas the cocoa paste is simply ground up cocoa beans, so the powder and the butter together. This means that this block of cacao paste has more fat content than cocoa powder, and therefore when you make chocolate, you don't need as much cocoa butter or coconut oil, whatever you prefer. Just beware, this is bitter, it's not sweet. Therefore, I'm going to also add some coconut nectar and, for flavor, a dash of salt to bring out the cacao flavor more, and a little bit of vanilla. I'm going to put the cocoa paste and the cacao butter in this pot. Make sure that your pot is really nice and dry, otherwise the chocolate won't be as nice. This pot will then go into the hot water pot for a water bath, so everything will melt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a few molds, I'm going to make a few bars and then some pralines, and I'm going to also decorate them. You can use any nuts that you like. I'm using almonds, or any dried fruit. I'm using raisins. I also have some cacao nibs here, so those are just chopped up cocoa beans, and I have some edible dried flowers which are gonna look really pretty. You can either crumble them or just keep them as a whole with your chocolate. The chocolate is ready. However, I'm not alone in this house, and I asked people to not eat everything. So what they did was they ate something here and some here, some there. As you can see, people like the chocolate, and I'm pretty sure you will too. I love it. So what I did after pouring it into the molds was I let it set at room temperature for a little bit, and that's important because if you put it right into the freezer because you want it to be solid as soon as possible, it can happen that the fat will separate from the other ingredients, and then you will have this thin white layer of cacao butter or coconut oil on top of your chocolate. This can have a nice effect and look really pretty. However, sometimes you just want your chocolate to be like a dark brown, lovely, solid blob. And to avoid that, you just let it set at room temperature, and once it's a little bit more solid, or less liquid and more like cream, then you can place it in the freezer or in the fridge, and it will just become completely solid without separating at all. Now, what I like about these molds is also that it's really easy to get the chocolates out. They don't stick to silicone molds. And this is how quickly you can get it out. And I don't think I really need to test it. However, for your viewing pleasure and my tasting pleasure, honestly, after making your own chocolate and tasting it, I can't believe that you will ever go back to store-bought chocolate and say, oh, this is so much better than the fresh one I made the other day. Sure, maybe it's not sweet enough at first, but hey, you can just sample before you pour it into the molds, right? And then just adjust. Be aware that if something is warm, it will taste sweeter than if something is really cold. This is why ice cream, for example, also doesn't taste that sweet when you eat it right out of the freezer. But then once it starts getting liquid and melting away, it's just super, super sweet. And if you ever check ingredients on ice cream containers, store-bought containers, you will notice that there's a lot of sugar in it. And that's exactly because your taste buds can't really taste that sweetness if something is really cold. So back to the chocolate, though ice cream and chocolate go well together. Back to the chocolate. I do hope that this recipe inspired you to get creative yourself. If you like this video, let me know by clicking the like button and commenting underneath. I want to know what you're going to throw into your little molds, or if you're going to have it pure. Also, I want to know what videos I should make next. Do you have any special requests, any interests, any recipes that you want me to test for you? Let me know underneath. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe to my channel, and if you don't want to miss any information that I sometimes only share in my emails, come on over to ROHTOPIA.com, where you can also get this recipe to print out, and subscribe for my newsletter. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for your time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time at ROHTOPIA. Bye!